Hello, how are you doing today? Welcome to World Crypto Finance. The SEC is currently experiencing significant pressure to pay up. Hinman. Past Ethereum emails can be seen here for free at the moment. Issue: the XRP community has been discussing for some time, but now we're beginning to see if doing so is actually within the law. More and more people outside the XRP community are taking note of the fact that the SEC's actions have been considered unconstitutional. Today, I'd want to show you an intriguing conversation I overheard between some brilliant lawyers discussing this very topic, and I think you'll come to see how deep the SEC's problems run. I'd want to add a thought at this point. Fascinating near the video's conclusion, for what reason is the XRP price, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency market, stuck in a rut at the present, with no signs of a breakout in sight? If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider supporting the channel. In this one, I want to show you a really intriguing chart that governs all the major markets right now. This guarantees a click on the like button. Click the subscribe button at the bottom of this page. These three easy-to-hear chimes. They're going to progress so far. You guys mean the world to me in growing this channel. Is there a reliable source to purchase XRP? Regarding the Flare token, be sure to check out my recommended exchange uphold down in the video's description. Honestly, Upload is a world-class game changer. Use their services, and if you haven't already, sign up for an account through the link in the description of this movie. I have great faith in their offerings. Yet, shall we jump right into it? I want to kick off this video and go over a very interesting discussion that was just brought to my attention because, for the longest time, it seems like only the XRP community was paying attention to this Ripple SEC case, but as this video will show you, this case is going to have drastic implications for the entire crypto industry and will have far-reaching effects on the entire United States government, so I hope you enjoy the content. Wow, this is interesting. It proves that the brightest legal minds in the world are keeping tabs on what's going on with Bill Hinman right now. Very fascinating. Pay attention. With this in mind, and it will proceed to dismantle it. And a simple means of setting the stage for the Hinman address, yeah. Oh well, Ripple won't stand for it. He overlooked the fact that I'm essential to the plan. In line with the ruling in the Ripple case, judge's legal opinion because, well, you know, the discovery disagreements. You're used to hearing about us nerdy lawyers, but one of the topics that came up was the fantastically amazing phenomenon known as ripple effects. And everyone agrees, this is incredibly fascinating. Quite likely, you find it to be absolutely amazing. Boring and academic, but so Ripple asked Discovery a question. The SEC told me, first, they stated it wasn't relevant when I went, after I presented them with Hinman's paperwork pertaining to the Hinman speech. Because Hinman's speech, which was initially given in his personal capacity, did not represent official SEC policy. Have you ever heard a public figure say, "This is not agency policy, I'm here in my personal opacity"? That's the sole reason they're here, their official capacity. Just for that reason do I care about what they have to say, yet they constantly qualify it in some manner. Nothing that should be taken as agency policy, etc., 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 etc. How well versed are you in Ripple? They may have mistakenly considered their token to be a security, but the judge has since ruled otherwise. Therefore, they proceeded and claimed, well, that the attorney's correspondence is confidential, to which the court said, not only can it not be privileged since you've already gone to great pains to tell us that this was not an official address. However, the agency's legal team is prohibited from providing any sensitive. The judge was extremely harsh on the SEC in regards to the issue of providing private, non-business counsel to individuals for their own purposes. The sparks for what he saw as two aggressive litigation strategies that get to the point, but not before. Of course, he was speaking on behalf of the SEC, and private attorneys might turn on a dime, but they are, essentially, my own words. It's unbecoming of you to value success over legal procedure. You understand the moral considerations and the constant drawbacks. maintaining an unwavering stance, and, so it's not just very interesting, but that sort of ripple effect is also. There will be a sea change in how politicians address the public in the future because of them. They really put an end to that notion that a public official, speaking in their own role, can avoid responsibility for the content of their remarks. Amazing in retrospect. Shifts the entire political landscape in Washington. The court, however, disregarded the SEC. I'm referring to being publicly humiliated. Judicially softly for being, essentially unethical and making two mistakes in their arguments concerning. You have seen the proof for yourself. Just so you're aware, discovery is usually quite dull. Disputes. It could lead to some interesting shifts in the public statements of U.S. government officials, especially at the SEC, but also elsewhere. That concludes this extremely detailed post. Simply put, that's not quite. What I mean is that this seems like a win-at-all-costs attitude, which is, if not unlawful, at least improper for a government body. Whoa, that's a lot to analyze. And yet, some of the most crucial. One way the SEC is acting is as she described. Secondly, and this is crucial, it indicates that the judges raked in the SEC over the coals for this demonstrates an inconsistent viewpoint. That to a lawyer following this case. Contrary to reality, the SEC has. What this demonstrates is that the SEC is attempting to do something unethical, and as a result, they have been penalized for acting inappropriately. We can say with confidence that the judges in this case likely disliked the SEC. There is no evidence to support the SEC's pursuit of this case. They are not going forward with this case because the law they are trying to establish as a basis for their argument. You don't want to put the judge in a position where she has to do whatever it takes to win, because that sends the wrong message. How can I believe anything the SEC says? Many times they have lied already. Have already demonstrated that they will lie to the judge to get their way, so why bother with the argument? The merits of this case are undeniable. What this means is, I feel more assured than ever thanks to that wave. Has the potential to come out on top with Ripple because it is grounded in reality. Securities laws have been strictly followed. Have stayed on topic with their arguments, which is encouraging because the SEC seems to be making things up as they go along. Since the judges will have the final say in the matter. Foresight in this matter, the SEC was incorrect to risk alienating the court. This proves that we are not alone in this regard. The XRP community isn't the only one who has noticed the lawyers making this up. The XRP community as a whole. Do you see what we're trying to communicate here? Time, and that's a huge deal. Also, and this is crucial, I will say this. She doesn't spend much time on it, but she does point out that Bill Hinman's statement that, oh well, we want the entire industry to know that we don't think Ethereum is a security, but it's not really guidance is a bit of a red herring. I guess it's advice because I'm offering it, but ultimately it's simply my opinion that won't work. And it is fantastic news, indeed. Because nobody would ever accept that, but somehow they do. Make any sense at all, and the whole industry took what he stated as guideline. The SEC sought to reverse on that when it discovered it was hurting them. That won't fly around here any longer. And it's all thanks to Ripple. I really should wrap up this video. To dash off and review the current value of XRP.